For a moment, the pup stood there, paralyzed, as if the forest itself had held its breath. The waterfall no longer brought peace, its gentle streams now drowned out by the shadow's chilling prophecy. The once familiar valley felt foreign, threatening. Then, just as suddenly as it had appeared, the shadow vanished into the dark corners of the woods, leaving the young pup standing alone, trembling. The river no longer brought peace. The young pup's mind raced, the shadow's words echoing in his head. His voice barely a whisper. He muttered to himself, "What was that?" Questions flooded his thoughts, each more overwhelming than the last. Unable to make sense of what had just happened, he turned and ran back to his family. His father was the first to notice something was wrong. "What happened?" the alpha asked, his voice filled with concern. The pup's mother approached as well, her eyes soft with worry. "Are you all right, my son?" she asked gently. The pup, still trembling, nodded and muttered, "Nothing. Nothing happened." But inside, he knew he was lying. He could still feel the weight of the shadow's presence clinging to him, the fear gnawing at his spirit. His three sisters noticed the change in him too, their eyes wide with concern as they asked him over and over what was wrong. But each time he denied it, refusing to share what he had seen. That night, as the pack slept in their cave, the young pup's heart remained restless. Then, from the cave's entrance, the shadow appeared once more, its white eyes glowing in the darkness. "Come outside, son of the Alpha," the shadow commanded, its voice cold and unwavering. "I will show you the true reality of this world." The pup's breath caught in his throat as the shadow's chilling words echoed through the cave. "The light within you will perish," the shadow continued, "and only then will you understand the world for what it truly is." And so, the pup listened to the shadow. Step by step, he approached the dark figure, his heart pounding in his chest. As he drew closer, the shadow reached out and placed a cold, weightless hand on the pup's head. In that moment, a vision filled the pup's mind. He saw the world plunged into chaos. Flames of destruction raged through the valley he called home, consuming everything in their path. The once lush, green landscape was now scorched and barren. The ground was soaked with the blood of every living being, the air thick with smoke and despair. It was too much for one so young to bear. The shadow's voice broke through the nightmare. "It's coming. Winter will fall upon your pack in this valley," the shadow intoned. "Now, son of the Alpha, rest. You have seen enough." The pup, trembling, his heart filled with dread, stammered, Why did you show me this?" The shadow's voice twisted into a dark whisper. "If I hadn't, you would have lived a lie, content until the day you died of old age, never knowing the truth." The pup stared at the shadow, his body still frozen with fear. "Open your eyes, son of the Alpha," the shadow continued. "You will either live by the harsh laws of this world or perish by them." The wolf pup couldn't fully grasp what the shadow was saying, confusion clouding his mind. But the shadow's voice pressed on, its words wrapping around him like a cold, suffocating mist. "One day," the shadow hissed, "you will be overwhelmed by emotions so strong, they will drive you to the brink of madness. Your innocence will be lost forever, and the darkness will consume your spirit." Fear gripped the pup's heart, tightening its hold with every word the shadow spoke. He felt his innocence slipping away, stolen by the dark figure before him. He wanted to speak, to cry out, but the words wouldn't come. A suffocating darkness crept into every corner of his mind, swallowing the light that once burned inside him. The flame in his heart flickered, threatening to extinguish, as the shadow's words dug deeper into his soul. With one last lingering look, the shadow vanished, leaving the young wolf alone in the stillness of the night. Fear gnawed at him, the weight of the shadow's words heavy on his mind. He slowly returned to the den, hoping to find some sleep. But each time he closed his eyes, his dreams, once filled with joy, were now twisted into nightmares of fear and darkness. As dawn broke, casting its gentle light over the valley, the wolf pup fled from his home, slipping away into the unknown. He left without a word, his heart heavy with the darkness that now consumed him. When his sisters woke and found him gone, they searched frantically, calling his name into the stillness of the morning air. But there was no answer. Their voices, filled with worry, faded into the silence of the forest. Tears welled in their eyes as the realization sank in. He was gone. Their young brother had left them. The father and mother awoke soon after, alarmed by the sound of their daughter's sobs echoing through the den. Rushing to them, the parents asked, "What's wrong? What has happened?" Through tear-filled eyes, one of the sisters whispered, "Our brother, he's gone." Sadness gripped the hearts of the parents, a deep and heavy sorrow settling over them like a dark cloud. The father's eyes darkened with a mix of grief and resolve. After a long, painful silence, he gave the order. "Search for him," the father said, his voice thick with emotion. "Find my son."